Well, hello and welcome back to the GMODISM channel. This is your host Eric, and today we are of course back with upgrading the Gimle class to the updated versions. So here you can see the Gimle as of where we left it last time, with upgraded turrets, more offensive capabilities and less defensive capabilities. Here we got some of those upgraded Arcubalista Interdominus. I can't remember exactly how. Indomitus. Arcubalista Indomitus. I'll need to learn that for the new battles. Well, in any case, this is where we left it last time, and unfortunately it is a little bit too much expensive. We need to make this cheaper since we surpassed 2.2 million materials, and that won't do. And we're gonna work a little bit on armor and removing perhaps some unnecessary weapon systems. Aside from that, we are constructing on Commander Delphin's monitor, and this is where we left it last time. So let us look at some aesthetical improvements on this one first. And as you can see right here, I have decided to go with a nice little thing here. So I was quite happy to use the wooden block here, the end stop, two of them against each other like this, to kind of make a little wooden support thing without making it like using mimics. So that's some pretty happy things. Then on top of here we got a laser turret. So if we take control over this and just look around, you can see that this oh, I hate this feature. You can see that this little laser turret is swiveling around inside of the tower, leaving some space for detection on top, but otherwise looking pretty sleek like that. And to the updated Gimle class, well, I have, I think this is new. I removed one weapon system here, one of the teaser crams I just cut off there. And then I don't remember if this thing is new either, but here we have some more damage dealing capabilities. And we do have this here, which I think may be a new system as possibly as well. I just realized I'll need to spawn the different versions. Yeah, okay. So this is not a new, but that is a broadside of frag crams, and for this upgraded, no, not frag crams, what am I saying? APS frags, laser detonated, and for the upgraded version I just made them laser detonated instead after some battle testing. In any case, I removed this diff gun and replaced it with a diff guns with 4 barrels like this. And yes, it is indeed correct that I did remove this turret on the back here. And I added quite a nice little detail on top of here, with, I think so at least. We have the 3 flags on the side here. Well, it's 6 flags, but it's 3 flags if you look from the side. And that's like more flags than before, and that's how you can easily see that this is the Gimle Mark III and nothing else. We also have a rotating decoy on top of here, which I think is a pretty smart thing to lure away missiles and the like. Yeah, that we've done, and we made the armor a lot more updated here. In the front here, I added some extra detection turrets here, as you can see. And we have auxiliary detection turrets on multiple places on the new Gimle class. So, for example, we got the auxiliary detection turret there. We got one here. And we got one here. We got them all over the place, of course. And we have some auxiliary tracking on the superstructure as well. I really try to make sure that our detection systems will not be going down so that we'll go blind, a little issue that Gimle class could have previous times. Now, if you look at the previous Gimle we looked at in the last episode, you can see that I thought that the weight would be a little bit unbearable, so the spall liner inside the Gimle class is actually alloy. And that's not great. And we have tons of interior armor here too. And behind here, we do have a turbine that generates electricity and shit. And that usually just gets on fire after the fire update and burns down the whole ammo compartment behind here. So, to upgrade the Gimle class then, I swapped the spall liner layer here to be metal instead, because that's more efficient. And it is then still backed by alloy here, so it doesn't get too heavy. And we have, of course, layer of wood in different compartments. We have layers upon layers of wood all over the place, and more shall be added. And the big interior armor here with the poles was removed to save costs. And the well, if you look here, I've added like interior walls all over the place, just to make sure that the pen depth detonation stuff doesn't get too deep. And inside of here, you can see we are actually having nothing back here, so that energy generation setup is removed because it was too easy to kill. And all this compartmentalization will also limit the spread of frags and the like to not do too much damage. We beefed up the armor a bit here. We don't leave any open areas because, of course, stray frags and high explosive can progress and do some killing. Now, I felt that this armor is not quite enough anyways, so thus we have improved it further in future iterations, as you will see shortly. But that is indeed what we've done so far. We added a lot of discounts and fixed the armor at places, making us go in at a 2.118 M materials, which is of course below the allowed limit. So finally we have a combat capable vessel that's actually not more expensive and is better. Yeah, and the Vigoletta Marksman is replaced by the Railgun boosted variant, which is a little bit better and a lot faster to help shoot at the evasive targets. On the meantime here, I decided that this thing looks nice, but now, how do we put an engine in here? I've already put a huge AI compartment. Now the AI can easily get sniped, so I'm not sure this may take too much space, but on the other hand, we do have space, since the cram cannon will be like a rotary system on top of it, on deck, so that won't really count for space. So I think we can afford to have such a big AI compartment inside of here. We got a 2 AI system, one for the ballistic crams to come and one for the laser. Now, to have a laser, you need a pretty good power system. And I had this little tiny issue that when I looked at my cram cannons, why am I saying cram cannons all the time? I think I want to make a new cram cannon tutorial, that's why. But anyways, if we go to Steam here, I didn't really have a good flat Steam engine, except the Centauri GmbH flat pack, and it only generates like 700 power or whatever, so that's not great. So I started to develop a cram system that's 3 meters high or 3 meters wide, to make a little bit of a flat pack for really big steam. Yeah, but in any case, we have thus started to experiment. A little tip I got in YouTube comments, that to make a material efficient steam engine, you can actually place a steam valve on the end of an engine, right? You can put it on an end, and then you can close it off when you don't need the engine, and you can thus keep the pressure inside the engine without burning any materials. And I didn't know if this would work or not, so I had to do a big bit of experimentation. But this is the start of the Centauri GmbH flat pack large steam engine, which I can actually show you was a successful project. The Centauri GmbH Flatpak 3 Super Smart Steam Engine. It's not only smart, it's super smart. And that's just because I was not stupid when I put together the automation functions for once. So yeah, I will confess that the Flatpak 650 power smart engine, I mean, it's not very smart. It basically sets the burn rate to 0 when it kind of stands still. Yeah. But this thing, the super smart, that is indeed a super smart system. I had to really cram the areas here just to not use the medium boilers and save 1 meter. I used the small ones here and a little network like this. And that's kind of smart because then we don't get a single point of failure that easy. In any case, you can see it goes out here to a steam well and a steam pipe. And this thing, when vehicle power is within 90%, yeah, it closes the valves. So if you don't use your engine power at all, really, and you can like drag this down so it's like going lower, say that you don't use like you have 85 to 100% of the engine power free, it can close the valves. And then you need to adjust this one too. So if your power is not 100%, basically, it will keep this valve open. And the cool thing is, if you get EMP blasted like that, the engine won't break down. You know, so it's kind of good. That's why we. That's why it may be a problem to keep the steam valve at the start where the boilers are, because then you basically have to EMP insulate the entire engine if you want to be sure. Well, we added some detection on top of here too, and yeah, it's starting to look pretty neat, if I can say so myself. We of course don't have the big rotary cram cannon yet. But that's because I was thinking a little bit. Yeah, it was because I was thinking a little bit if perhaps the rotary cram cannon I thought of before, that looks a little bit like the rotary APS, will fit in a good way or not. Or if we should instead use a thing that kind of rotates 90 degrees, like some, I think it's, I think the Onyx Watch may have such turrets perhaps, but I was thinking maybe like the Coffin Nail, no? One of those flying air forts have weird crams like that. I was thinking maybe we should do a system like that. Spoiler alert, I'm gonna do the original rotary cram anyways, but yeah. We just may possibly have to decrease the area here of the superstructure at this place to make it not fly, but we'll see how large it's gonna be, but that is indeed for later anyways. So to do some more additions on the Gimle class, we'll need to do some initial battle testing, and what better than spawning in one of the old game foes. We have the Megalodon and we have the Tyr Battleship, and they will basically pound on the Gimle class for some time so that we can identify weak areas potentially. And well, of course, we'll do more proper battle testing videos later on, but it's good to have a initial kind of battle testing so that you can do fixes and additions as needed. So one can easily see potential weak spots, like perhaps around the AI here. We are a little bit weak from damage from the top. We've seen that in previous battles. You can see if this was a scary frag, it could have killed us potentially. And stuff like that. This is not a proper really battle testing video though, so we're just going to look at the fixes. And as you know, the fixes are indeed present here. So what I did indeed add to the list, I had a lot of things. I fixed it so that we do have a fire-based laser. A lot of people are telling me that's not a good idea to have, but we can also remove the feature instantly by just dragging down the burn rate here. But yeah, this is basically the master sheet we're working with, and let us check. So after the battle testing, we identified some issues, and we also added some nice looking details. Look, we have a king, and we also have the fantastic mascot, Eiriki of the Army of GMODISM, and the, well, short for the full name, the GMODists, the Imperial GMODist Unified Armed Forces, of course. Well, in any case, as you can see here, we do have identified a weak spot. So I added this little marker here. And to fix this little weak spot, we have added overhead armor like this. We added even heavy armor ducts on the side here. And we added some, well, metal ducts on top here to stop the stray crams from going and hitting us. And as you can see, we did go, well, not all in, but kind of like that, with those sheets of wood blocking the passage of damage progression from different places all over the place like this. We also improved the armor on front here on the Arcoballista systems, as you can see there, to make it a little bit better survive damage in general. And we did also, like here, this Arcoballista can get killed sometimes, so here is a good place where we did add some armor. As you can see, if we just put the lights in here, and also down here. Yeah, on the turret base. The turret bases have been heavily improved since previously, which I'm sure you're aware of. But in any case, we're starting to get a pretty neat looking design here with those little additions. If you look on the top of the armor here, we have also filled in here with armor that we didn't have before, to save the most important bits there. And the laser network is much improved and strengthened. So below here, the turret is getting its laser feed right from this little connection point inside of here, and that sometimes died. So I put an auxiliary thing, so if that dies, we have a beam coming up from below, hitting the laser underneath it anyway, so that it might survive a tad bit longer, which I hope is gonna be a big game changer when it comes to survivability. Yeah. And it finally says AOG Gimle class Mark III. And as for the build for our Commander Delphin, well, here we have finally started to implement the engine. inside of there, so it fits snugly there. And we also fit in some electricity generation. And here we have snuck in a continuous laser system and connected this up to the tower. So we now have a functioning laser like that, and I started to add a little bit more of an interesting detail. I wanted to have another line to the hull, so that we have done right here, as you can probably. If you want your custom loading screens, you can actually get them. You can actually download them for free if you want to. You can just go to GMODISM.com and click your way to the loading screens, and you can just download them. And on the download page, you don't need to provide a valid email. You can just make one up. And this is the winning aesthetical design missile from the trial season 2, if you were wondering. Solid Pickle's beautiful missile. Well, in any case, of course, adding some additions and stuff like that has been done, and some final tweaks and additions, not final at all, but some more ones has been added as well. So this version does use a delay timer, which means that some of the weapon systems are delayed for 7 seconds after an enemy has been detected. And I'm just going to try and see if it's something else I may forget to tell about, but I don't think so. The delay timer is located inside of here. So, oh yeah, we also have a smart switch of the lights, so that it will turn off the lights whenever there is an enemy now. So delay time 7 seconds if we have a detected enemy, and then we basically switch the local weapon controllers on or off because of that. And I just realized too now that one thing that I should have updated was to make sure that the Arquebalista Invictus systems does not only shoot underwater but may also shoot over the water. So we're just going to try and find the weapon system here. Here we have them. So we should change this to try to target blocks below water. We should uncheck that so it can target blocks above or below water. Doesn't matter. And we should make sure it targets, yeah, it's clusters of blocks. Okay, good. Fantastic. Now I think we have something that's closing in on being a very nice little ship. And this video, we should be doing a little bit of battle testing to the old Gimle battleship. But before that, we'll need to tune in on what's going on with the monitor class. And as you can see here, it is a sitting duck basically, and that will need to fix. Just like that. Ta-da! It is now a functional system. We have power, we have laser, we have... And I thought putting this laser system on a pole was a really smart idea. That I need to do for future project as well. But anyways, we have integrated power, and we have azipods that are controlling the pitch and the pitch, not altitude, only the pitch, and roll automatically. And I was really happy with working out this smooth shape here. I really found the right blocks right here. And I put the waterline 1 meter higher up because I thought that looked a little bit more aesthetical. And yeah, we're ready for some upgrades. That we can definitely say. And I added a little bit of more appliques here to make the laser turret look a little bit more smooth. So there we go. Hope our commander is liking the progress so far. Anyways, we should be doing some battle testing against the old Gimle class battleship. Alright, so here we have the old Gimle class as it as seen on YouTube. And here we have the Mark III. And you will notice here now, when we start the clock, it will take a few seconds. 7 to be exact. And bam! Now we collected enough data points so that the Arcubalista Indomitus, right? I failed to lock onto those shells. But anyways, they are now fired, which is nice. Why is it like not working like that? Okay, finally. So we can just play and zoop, and it still missed. Well, it has a higher chance of not missing at least, so that's one good thing. When we wait a few seconds, perhaps we should have waited a little bit longer. I don't know. But the ram cannons have a much higher probability of hitting. And they're also area laser detonated, which of course is a great little thing to have. And I will say also, of course, we have been building a little bit for our commander Delphin today. But I want to thank all of the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM. And of course, our Chancellor, Super Dave, in the government of GMODISM, which is our, let's say, new support option. They take much less smaller cut than Patreon and the other ones, so that's why the government of GMODISM exists. On the other hand, Patreon has great integrations, and the site is really easy to use, so I guess, you know, it's nice. Big thanks to our commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM, who are, of course, via Patreon. We have Admiral Dragon X62, Commander Ben Wilkie, and DLFN for building for today. Lieutenants Ali, Anto, Gravy Flowers, Dagan, Daniel, Sakin, Owen, Parba Greed, Vincent Veritas, Volkite, Rick Pearl, and Scooby Rocks, and of course to all the cadets. Also, big thanks to everyone in the Ecclesiarchy of GMODISM. You are the YouTube members, and maybe you could see this video a little bit early, and if you did, it's like a few hours early. Usually, for the channel members, you get to see things sometimes weeks earlier. It's kind of when I upload them. So sometimes it's not very early because I didn't do them in advance very much. Look at that. If that had been area detonated, it would have done so much more damage. Yeah. That's kind of the thing. When I upload it, you'll have access to it. And if it took me long to fix that, well, if it took me short to fix that, well, it's not that much in advance. Yeah, it depends, basically. Well, we can see here that the D7 right here, that's the wrong thing. I don't know, it's alive in the background. The D6 delay timer right here is at 91%. Oh man, the original Gimle is in the lead. Yeah, the old Gimle class is toothless by no means. Look at that. It didn't die because of the base got sniped out. It died because, well, the turret base got killed by frag, I suppose. So that's why we have the material difference here. Well, the updated Gimle may not win this then. If we lost one of the main turrets here, that's kind of bad. Well, what can we do? It's always a part luck, you know, so there is that. We never know what's really going to go down. And big frag crams like this provide a lot of opportunities for luck. I do want to see the Arcubalista Indomitus. Man, like, locking onto shells never works nowadays. Why? Can you, like... What the fuck, man? Why? Why do you zoom out like that? Thank you. And this particular shell, right? It's actually hollow point. So for some, like in this case, the whole point is not great. It would be better with the penetrating. But for some enemies, having a whole point like that really squishes things. So one of the 3 Arcoballista Indomitus are whole point of that reason. Looks like we didn't lose. What's up with our laser? But that's a little bit uneven. Why are you trying to shoot at that? That's weird. Well, it's a little bit of an early testing in a process of many tests, so it doesn't matter that much. But it's indeed, of course, nice if we can have some good tests in a more controlled manner. I did realize too now that the top bridge here is like a bit undefended right now. Yeah, it is. It is. We should probably add a shield to the diff gun on top of there. Maybe. Because I don't think we have a shield at all, because it could have been a neat idea to protect the decoy area and stuff like that on top of here. And this is the thing, this is why we're doing these battle tests anyway. It is so that we can check out what we can improve and stuff like that. And as you can see, by the way, when we're in combat, you can see the lights are turned off inside here, decreasing the lag a little bit. All right, well, it is the case that the original Gimle class is at 84% and the new one, the Mark III-ish, or to be soon to be Mark III, is at 87%. So it's like winning. But I also feel that our little monitor here is acting a little bit like a shield decoy at times, as like a decoy shield or whatever. Lasers are targeting this thing in any case, which is of course very beneficial for the upgraded Gimle. We of course need to do some more control tests in the future, but it's just to get a, well, understanding in the beginning kind of where we're at. And it should be said that, well, it should be said that I've already done this test multiple times, and the upgraded Gimle win pretty much more reliably at those times. Yeah, it just didn't this time, and that's how it is. We have a piece of luck in of here too. It's a bit, or not a bit, it's a big part luck based as well. The upgraded Gimle class also has much less CWIS capabilities, which should be also remembered. We actually got a pretty decent CWIS cannon back here. You can see it's actually working and in action, which is nice. If we can just go down here. It's just locking on to random shit now. I think the locking on has become a lot worse recently. I don't know. Or it's just lagging. But this CWIS cannon, of course, could potentially make the original Gimle a little less damage as well. I think it's gonna lose eventually, but I'm not sure. 81% just. It's gonna be a slow one for sure, since the upgraded Gimle lost one of its main turrets in the beginning. Which is a tad bit unlucky, but yeah. We're not gonna watch this full battle either, but I just wanted to get it in there. It should be said also that the original Gimle class is pretty good at what it does. Thing is that what we really need to test it against is evasive aircraft targets, because the Mark III Gimle you see in front of you right now is kind of a lot adapted. It's much more adapted to deal with evasive aircrafts, and that's what it does. So of course it needs to be able to beat its old self, but we can't really expect it to be able to beat its old self a lot faster, a lot more dominating, a lot more hardcore. Because thing is that, you know, the good old Gimle class is pretty good at what it does, as I said. And that we upgraded it to deal with evasive aircraft doesn't really help us to beat something like the Gimle or any other slow ship like that. Well, that will be it for this time in any case. So I hope you did enjoy this little video, and if you did, please leave a like and do stay tuned for future videos and updates of the Gimla. I think we'll do. I think we're only one episode away from presenting the finished Gimle class. We just need to do some extra additions and some extra upgrades and stuff like that. And of course, when we're done, we're going to inject back the upgraded Gimle into the tournament, and you'll see it in more action, and we can see if it can indeed beat any of those foes it lost against before. Or not, we'll see. I think one video of additional testing and upgrades is to be done, but then I think we'll be done. In any case, I should stop rambling, and big thanks for watching. Check out the GMODISM channel for our 24/7 live streams From the Depth Entertainment. This is your host, Eric of GMODISM. I'm signing out. If you want to support the channel, you have the options in the description, of course. And again, big thanks to all of supporters. This wouldn't be possible without the ECCLESIARCHY, the commissioned officers, and, of course, the government of GMODISM. Thank you.